It is 4:31, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. Today's date is Monday, June the 24th, 2024. Ms. Ana, can we establish quorum, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Nori Garza,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Ruben Plata,
Present.
Councilwoman Jessica Ortega,
Present.
Councilman Alberto Vela.
Present.
Mayor, we've established quorum. Councilwoman Marissa Gerlach will not be with us today.
Okay, thank you. Next items are invocation and pledge of allegiance. Please stand.
Heavenly Father, we trust you with all our hearts and lean not on our own understanding. We acknowledge you in all of our ways and in our meetings so that you will direct our paths. It is you who knows all things. So, Father, may we have your divine grace in this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is disclosure and conflicts of interest. Ms. Ana, I think there was a couple of them.
Yes, Mayor Garza has filed conflict of interest regarding executive session item number 6, and Mayor Pro Tem Ruben Plata has filed conflict of interest regarding executive session item number 2.
Okay, thank you. Next items are presentation, and the first one is a very special one for the City of Mission and for the Pulido family. The recognition of Ana Liz Pulido.
Good evening, Mayor and Council City Manager. We're very happy to introduce and acknowledge the best chef in Texas, Ana Liz Pulido. Ana Liz Pulido was named Best Chef in Texas at the James Beard Foundation Awards this month in Chicago. Ana Liz is a graduate from Sharyland High School and attended the Culinary Institute of America in San Antonio, graduating in 2019. She opened Ana Liz Taqueria in May 2021.
Recording in progress.
Located at 215 North Conway Avenue, where they specialize in nixtamal corn tortillas. This award is not a competition where chefs enroll. It is a nomination done and judged by renowned chefs and journalists in the food industry. They go undercover to experience the true service and dishes of such restaurants. Congratulations, Ana Liz.
I just want to thank the Mission Texas for everything they help us. And nomás seguirle para adelante y muchísimas gracias.
Así es. Gracias y felicidades. You want to come up here for a picture? Okay, the next item is recognition of Nanette Galvan.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Rick Menecia with the Boys and Girls Club of Mission, and I was kind of hoping for taco samples, but it's okay. The Professional Association of Boys and Girls Clubs of America consists of professionals through the entire nation that provide scholarships for our employees, provide them a sense of family, give them support so that we can offer that support to our members. I was recently appointed to the National Board of Directors for the TPA, and I can tell you firsthand how effective this organization is within Boys and Girls Clubs of America. I know 2 years ago, or actually last year, we had a National Youth Development Professional of the Year, Ms. Kayla Garza. And this year, for the second time in 3 years, we have another winner. We recently held our all-staff conference, and Ms. Nanette Galvan, our program director, was named the RGV Chapter Youth Development Professional of the Year. That includes clubs from San Antonio to Laredo to the Coastal Bend. So we are very proud of the work that Nanette puts in. Very proud of our team, but it's great to have these kinds of recognitions, and Nanette truly earned every bit of this because she's worked her way up the ladder there at the Boys and Girls Club, and she exemplifies everything that the Boys and Girls Club should be for our youth and our community.
Thank you.
And I just want to thank everybody from the Boys and Girls Club for getting me where I am now.
Very good, thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay, the next item is the May 2024 Employee of the Month, Ms. Media.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Today we're here to present to you our Employee of the Month for May. It is Mr. Diego Jimenez. He is one of our dispatchers at our fire department, and he was nominated by Joey Flores and his supervisor, Fernando Alanis. And the nomination reads as follows. On May the 22nd at approximately 3:45 p.m., the Mission Fire Department received a 911 call for a 90-year-old female choking. Dispatcher Diego Jimenez answered the phone and immediately utilized the newly implemented ProQA computer software with Priority Dispatch Systems, emergency medical dispatch, scripted questions and instructions to handle the emergency call. The caller advised that the 90-year-old patient was choking on a piece of orange and was barely breathing. As Diego continued obtaining information, the caller advised that the patient could no longer breathe and started to change color. Diego changed the condition of the patient on the ProQA console and immediately switched from questioning to giving the dispatch life support instructions. Dispatch trainee Jolene Garcia simultaneously toned out the call and initiated the emergency response without any disruption of the phone call. Diego calmly talked the caller through instructions on giving the Heimlich maneuver to the choking patient. By following his instructions, the caller managed to generate enough abdominal pressure to force the obstruction out of the patient's airway, allowing her to breathe normally and ultimately saving her life. Diego Jimenez maintained his composure during the high-stress incident, remaining calm while giving life-saving instructions in a life-and-death situation. Diego Jimenez's performance exemplifies the embodiment of an emergency medical dispatcher. Thank you, Diego, for the service you provide to our community, and congratulations. Congratulations.
I would just like to thank the city for the job opportunity, as well as Chris and Joey for providing me with this great opportunity with working here for the city. Chief Garcia as well, for you guys providing us with everything that we need, because we started off with pretty much not much to work with, but you guys have given us a lot. So thank you guys. Thank you to Fernando for the nomination. And just I think one more person that I would like to thank, and it's a person that taught me most of what I know, Cassandra, she was one of the ones who helped me out a lot. And my guys, I do this for them. I want for them to go home to their families, and they're my biggest supporters, so thank you all.
Thank you. The next item is a report from our Rio Grande Valley Humane Society. Ms. Vasquez.
Good evening, Mayor, City Manager, Mayor Pro Tem, and all council members. We thank you all for your continued support. We finished the month of May at a 90.38% save rate. In May, our intakes for cats and kittens was 120, dogs and puppies 119, for a total of 239 cats and dogs coming in. Our outcomes, we had 76 adopted, 8 reclaimed by the community, 15 were transferred out to rescues, 60 were returned to field, and 15 euthanized, for a total of 159 live outcomes. For foster placement, we had 96 cats, 71 dogs, for a total of 167. We did host a vaccine clinic for the City of Mission and residents, and that was a total of 383. We also have another low-cost vaccine clinic this weekend on Saturday, June 29th, and registration is still open until end of day tomorrow. And I just wanted to thank the city and all staff and employees for their continued support with the rain that we had last week. We did have some flooding, but thank you to the city. We had sandbags donated so we could go ahead and block the water that was coming in. I did not introduce myself, my apologies. I am the interim executive director, Jennifer Vasquez. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, the next item is a report from our chamber. Ms. Brenda?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Wonderful things happening at the Chamber. Tomorrow, we are kicking off breakfast networking event, Coffee, Croissants, and Commerce taking place at the Mission EDC at 9 a.m. So we do invite anybody in the real estate and commercial industry to come on down and join us. Wednesday, we do have a ribbon cutting with Landmark Financial at 10 a.m. On that same day, we do have an educational webinar with our friends over at the SBDC under the UTRGV umbrella. The topic is using social media to boost sales. That same evening, since we had to reschedule a couple of activities from last week due to the rain to now, Wednesday, we do have a joint member mixer at Elevate, Drip Spa off Sherry, and that'll be in the evening at 5:30. Just to remind everybody, nominations for board of directors positions is now open. We are accepting board nomination applications until July 10th. We are also accepting nominations for annual business awards, which is the Business Leader of the Year, Business Person of the Year, and Community Nonprofit of the Year. And we are moving forward on July 17th. We are hosting our annual investor private luncheon at the Mission Event Center. We will invite all of the investors of the chamber, give them a small state of the chamber, and that's happening also at the MEDC. And then, of course, on July 18th, we do have a groundbreaking ceremony coming up with M2 Engineering. And we are continuing the hospitality and service conference planning, and that will be taking place in November. And that's all I have this evening.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Okay, the next item are the departmental reports. Those were in our packets. Are there any questions or
Mayor, I move to approve the reports.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the reports as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. The next item is citizens' participation. Susana? There's no one signed up? Okay. Next item is our public hearing, and this is a proposed annual action plan for this. I'm sorry? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and we're going to have a picture with our Queen Citriana. So
Yes.
if you could come up here for a picture.
Yes.
So our queen was crowned in January, and she's already gearing up for presiding, I guess, or reigning over this next Citrus Fiesta. That events have already almost started, right? So she's going to be busy between now and next January, so good luck, and we look forward to participating. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All righty, now we'll go to the public hearing.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. This public hearing is to solicit comments on the proposed annual action plan fiscal year 24-25 for the Community Development Block Grant Program. The annual action plan describes the proposed activities recommended by the Citizens Advisory Committee on May 28, 2024, in consideration of a change to the 5-year consolidated plan and strategy to address its strategic direction, priorities, and goals to impact more residents by reallocating funds toward infrastructure improvements opposed to housing rehabilitation and homeownership assistance. The 2024 CDBG allocation is $980,555, and the activities include Parks and Recreational Facilities, Recreational Connectivity Trail Project, $250,000. Astroland Park Phase 2 Playground Equipment, $229,125. Water and Sewer Improvements, Astroland Park for storm sewer improvements, $150,000. Public services is a total of 105,319, and the breakdown is as follows. Amigos del Valle, 43,864. Area Agency on Aging, 10,000. Camp University, 5,000. To Give International, 3,000. Hope Medical Services, 8,000. Comfort House, 1,000. Children's Advocacy Center, 18,000. Casa of Hidalgo County, 1,000. Silver Ribbon, 3,000. Spear Memorial Library, 12,455. For homeownership assistance, Affordable Homes of South Texas, Inc., 50,000, and general administration for program administration of 196,111. This is a public hearing. The 30-day comment period ends July the 10th, 2024. It originally showed July the 8th, but we allowed 2 additional days due to the federal holidays, which is Juneteenth and July 4th. So, I don't know if you guys any.
Okay, is there anybody that would like to speak in reference to this 24, 25?
I do have several of my CAC members here.
Okay. Can they, yes, come on.
He wants to say.
Yes.
3 minutes?
Or more.
Or more?
possibly.
Well, it's been presented to you all what we discussed, and this is based on the advice or the direction that we're going. But nevertheless, my personal, I guess, concern more than from the board or the committee is that perhaps there will be other ways to have a better impact for more residents than utilizing this money that has really made a big difference for a lot of our residents. Many people enjoyed a home that they couldn't afford before. And I know personally many families, elderly families, that can give you their testimony on how this program, the Housing Assistance Program, has made a big difference for them. We want to impact more people. We look at other options, or maybe grants for parks, but not taking the family, the money that could benefit these elderlies. And that is my personal feeling on this. Perhaps making changes to the program. Perhaps we can do rehab. Instead of 25,000, we can increase it to 50,000. We can do anything to help these families. We have 7 families that are already eligible. For these 7 families to be eligible, they have to comply with different things that the city or the program require. When they meet all those requirements, these are elderlies, and this probably be they never had a nice house, and this is the only opportunity to have a beautiful home, whether it's new or whether it's remodeled. But let's not forget about what the program is about. We have another 7 families on review, which they just applied within the 24 year. But these other families have been waiting there for a longer time, and let's consider them. All I can say is they went through a lot, and their houses need help, and let's help our residents. Let's find other ways to have benefit more residents for this money. Let's look for other options, please. And I know I sit on the advisory board, and this is what we agree upon, but nevertheless, as a resident of the city of Mission and as a human being, let's not forget the people that are not gonna get help. At least consider people that went through the process to be qualified, and they're not qualified, and we're gonna deny that. Now we have to go back and say, you know what, it's closed. There's not gonna be no help. Please consider it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to speak in reference to the plan? Okay, all right. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second.
There's a motion. Oh, are you going to say something? Sure. Yes? Okay. We haven't taken a vote yet, so we're okay. Go ahead.
Hi, guys, I'm Lenny, the chairman for the CDBG, and most definitely, we did take a lot of time to come up with these numbers and how we fluctuated everything, and we really do hope that you take it into consideration. We did take our joint meeting into consideration with where you wanted the city to go with this funding. So with that, I really do hope that I mean, yes, I do feel that the rehabilitations and the building of new homes for the people that are in need, especially our elders, is very important. But at the moment, I do understand that the city needs to take a different toll on things. So, I mean, your recommendation is much recognized on behalf of our board and our committee, and I mean, it's up to you guys. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we do have a motion and.
A second.
And a second, okay. To close the public hearing, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. All righty, next items are planning and zoning recommendations.
So this was just a hearing? So we vote on it next?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Item number 9 is a rezoning for track number 1. It's the west 20 feet of Lot 2 and all of Lot 1 Enchanted Valley subdivision, and track number 2, the west 20 feet of the east 80 feet of Lot 2 Enchanted Valley subdivision. This is from R1 Single Family Residential to C1 Office Building. The applicant is Pedro Cruz Jr. The council is inclined to approve this item, and adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located approximately 160 feet east of Tangelo Street along the south side of East Griffin Parkway. Surrounding zones include office building to the north, residential to the east and west, and townhouses to the south. The future land use map shows this area as general commercial. The proposed zone complies with the city's future land use map and some of the surrounding land uses. Staff notes that the future land use map can be amended to reflect a commercial use. Office building is the least congested commercial zone we have and appears to be a better land use for this property. P&Z and staff recommended approval. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this request? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Anyone online?
Mayor, I move to close the public hearing. Are we going to do all of that?
We don't have to close.
We don't have to close? Oh, great.
So, we're good? So may I have a motion? Or is there any discussion?
I move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the rezoning request. As presented, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item?
Item number 10 is a rezoning.
54, yeah, I haven't been here in a month. 5493.
Item number 10 is a rezoning for a 2.850 acre tract, being the south 2.85 acres out of Lot 39, Bellwoods Company subdivision. This is from AOI Agricultural Open Interim to R2 Duplex Fourplex. The applicant is Aaron H. Bailly Jr. If the council is inclined to approve this item, and adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located approximately 1,288 feet north of West Mile 2 Road on the west side of Compton Drive. Surrounding zones include duplex, fourplex to the north and west, and agricultural to the east and south. The future land use map shows this area as low-density residential. The proposal does not comply with city's future land use map. However, it complies with the fairly new existing land uses. Staff notes that the future land use map can be amended to reflect the proposed zone. City Council has approved other rezonings for duplex in the area and off of Trosper Road. P&Z and staff recommended approval. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this item?
Good afternoon. Maria Esther Salinas. I own the 3 acres across this area, area that he wants to rezone. I'm Maria Esther Salinas. I'm against the proposed rezoning of our precious agriculture zoning area to an R2 zoning. Our vibrant community has thrived on the foundation of agriculture for generations, and I firmly believe that preserving this heritage is essential for the well-being of our town. By rezoning this area, we risk losing very essence that makes our community unique. our agricultural lands provide us with sustainable food sources, pristine landscape, and a thriving ecosystem that benefits both humans and wildlife. And by wildlife, I'm actually referring to what's on my acres. The almost extinct horned toad that I'm very aligned in Dallas and San Antonio, and sorry, and we have found a lot of horned toads in my acres. Camaleón. Thank you. Replacing this cherished landscape to an R2 zoning, which typically involves increased urban development and higher population density, would in reverse alter the character of our town. Furthermore, rezoning to an R2 would lead to numerous detrimental consequences: increased traffic congestion, strain on local resources, and added pressures to our already overburdened infrastructure are just a few of the potential drawbacks. Let's not sacrifice the quality of life and tranquility of the surrounding for short-term goals. On June the 5th, I came into a meeting with planning and zoning, and they didn't meet quorum. Okay. At that time, Ms. Susie told me, well, you could do a petition. And I looked at her and I said, I can do a petition? Y ahí se quedó. So now with the new world of media and social, I have 4 kids and another one I claim to be adopted. Right there, that land, my 3 acres also belong to my heirs. So I came to see Miss Susie. She wasn't here. She was out on medical leave. And then I was out on medical leave with Zoe's stage 4 kidney failure. So anyway, she calls me then. On June. She called me to ask me if I was going to come to the next meeting. I said, yes, on the 19th. So when I came on the 19th, then she says, oh, well, you have to have a petition. You have to give me all the petition. And in that, I said, petition? She said, yes, I need all the names, addresses, phone numbers. I said, well, wait a minute, ma'am. You didn't tell me anything about criteria specifications. So we went on an online petition, and I have 50 signatures. But then she's telling me, no, I have to be 200 feet. I said, look, Mr. Baez is a great guy, and he had told me that he was going to do big homes there, the R1s or the single family. And so I don't have a problem because they had agreed on that. But I don't want the traffic through the Compton Drive because as it is, we only have 12 feet in the Compton Drive, and Martin Garza had helped me there. So then in all the discussion on the 19th, Mr. Baez said that, he was willing to do some corrections, but he was only going to build the road to in front of his place. I said, wait a minute, that's a public road. If you start from the 2-mile line to reduce cars, you're going to have to take it all the way through. So I could agree on R1s, and I could agree on the trees because they've all been destroyed, and I have a lot of birds, and I have a lot of horned toads. And they have no water over there. They have no electricity. They have no sewer lines. They have nothing. It's only a 12-foot road. And I would agree on an R1, but they have to get out through Trosper or Thompson Road. I don't believe it's correct to go and destroy Compton Drive. Another thing, the petition. I'm not the only one. There was another group, and they're on the agenda again today. They're on Agenda 21. They had their petitions, and then Ms. Susie said, oh, no, that petition's no good because it only 200 feet, and they looked like they had the petition ready. They had everything ready. So that needs to be looked at because those are compelling concerns. We do all this work, and then we're told, oh, no, that's not the way it's supposed to be. So I would really appreciate keeping that area agriculture, less traffic. We have no water hydrogen. There was a fire at the Muñequita Ranch. There was no way the fire department could even go into their place. No, a lot. So I know we have to develop, and I know Mr. Bailey needs to do something with this property, but I don't want apartments, or they had agreed with Ms. Dina that they were going to do duplexes, but they had to come in through another entrance, which was the Trosper or Compton, Trosper or Thompson. So I just wanted to tell you that I do have a petition, and we do have 50 signatures, but like I tell you, 200 feet out of my 4 kids, 3 are out of here. So we did start an online petition, just like the museum. They have online projects. Everybody we now have to, update. But I seriously believe that you have to check how the petition. So that was another thing. One of the council members asked her, what ordinance or what committee agreed on that petition? And she said, well, first it was 500 feet, then was 200 feet. And Mr. Sanchez said, no. What committee agreed on the specifications on that petition? And she said, oh, I did. I'm going, so she created it herself? Is this like what comes out in the paper? Oh, well, what do they say? Oh, they get away with whatever. But anyway, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And I pay a lot of taxes in my area, and I'm aligned. And I do align with Lucio, because he did get a grant for the horned toad, and I am aligned with San Antonio. There's actually sniffing dogs, and what they do is they bring the dogs and they can sniff the horned toads. And I am aligned in Dallas, and there's a lot of things I'm doing, but I had come down with cancer. I'm okay, and it's always been real sick. And I was told, well, you were going to make a park. Yes, I was, and I'm still hoping. I do have my degree. But I would appreciate coming up with another way for him to build, but not through the Compton Drive. Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? If you could come up and...
I'm Stanley Jacobson. I have the property right to the south and east of the proposed subdivision. And my question is, if it's approved to have the R2, who would be responsible for widening the road? Would the city widen completely from the 2-mile line up to this subdivision? Because right now, I don't know how many of you have been on the road, but there's room for 1 car, one way. So you have to get to the side, and not all vehicles can get, some are flat areas and you can get to the side, but not during weather like right now. So the question is, would there be enough room for 2-way traffic if approved?
No, the city would not be widening it. Maybe the developer can come up and tell us what he plans to do on addressing it. The questions that you're raising will be addressed during the subdivision process. At this point, they're looking at, is the property okay to be zoned and used for that? Doesn't mean that they're going to be able to do it, because they've got to jump to a lot of hoops.
Yep.
Some of the issues that were just brought up having to do with water, sewer, roads, drainage, things like that. So we can hear from the developer. Maybe he can answer some of those questions for you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Aaron Bayi, and I'm trying to develop a piece of property there. There are some issues that I think we're concerned with. Number one, we know it's not properly done right now. It's prepared for the street. That's why with all of us cooperation, not only mine developing that area, as other properties that needs to be developed in that area, we need to get ready for that's coming. With my part, with the other people's part, and in cooperation, we can fix the street. We can do the water the way it's supposed to be. And the sewer, whatever needs to be done to comply with a regular city street, we'll be able to do with everybody's cooperation. Whoever developing and the city, we can come together and make it happen. At this point, I know it's not ready, and that is, but with all of us cooperating with developing a piece of property, making it nice, we'll be able to make it happen. Now, the city's growing, we have to grow with it. Fortunately, unfortunately, the question we have to ask, what's good for me, what's good for the city, what's good for everybody else? Sometimes what's good for me is not good for everybody else. But if we come together and compromise and make this happen, we can make City of Mission look good, and everybody would be happy. And we have to remember, we're a tax-based entity. City of Mission needs taxes, needs this for us to grow and make it look beautiful and all the above. If we stay like this, we won't live in a ranch. We need to move to 10, 11-mile lines so we can be happy. So if you all consider, like I said, the area around us is already growing so much, that artery needs to be fixed, needs to be taken care of. And with your help and my help, we can make it happen. And like I said, it's just not stay 10 years ago. We're growing. We need to grow with it. We cannot fall asleep on it. So whatever I can do in my part, I'll be there to help. Thank you so much.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this item? No, I'm just asking if anyone else would like to speak and come forward. Okay. Anyone online? No? Okay. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I have a legal question. I was wondering if I could take this into executive session
Okay.
to discuss it there.
You can make a motion to move it to executive and we can discuss it unless you want to.
You want to do it now?
No, we can wait until the end.
You want to wait? Okay. Okay. So,
Did I have a legal question for her, if I could take it into executive session to see if they can answer my questions?
so we'll just have no action for now?
You can make a motion to move this to executive session and we can address it and then come back and.
I'd like to make a motion to move this item into executive session for further discussion.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to move the item to executive session. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, so we'll address the next item, number 11.
Item number 11 is a conditional use permit for drive-through service window for Dunkin' Donuts. This is located at 301 North Sherry Road, Suite 100. This would be out of Lot 1, Sherry Town Plaza subdivision. Is currently zoned general business, and the applicant is Lindsay Lumas. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located approximately 400 feet north of East First Street along the west side of Sherry Road. The applicant is leasing an 1875 square foot suite for a Dunkin' Donuts, which will include a drive-through service window on the south side of the building. Access to the drive-through window would be off of Sherry Road via a 24-foot driveway. They would place the order on the west side of the building and pick up the order on the south side. The drive-through window location allows stacking for approximately 9 vehicles. Days and hours of operation proposed are Monday to Sunday from 4:30 to 11. They're proposing to have 30 employees in different shifts. For parking, there's a total of 57 parking spaces that will be shared with other businesses. P&Z and staff recommended approval for life review, subject to comply with all city codes, installation of a speed bump at the end of the ordering window, acquisition of a business license prior to occupancy, and CUP not to be transferable to others. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this item? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Is there anyone online?
Nobody against donuts.
Nobody's against donuts, not today.
Mayor, I move to approve.
Okay, there's a motion. Can we get a second? Okay, to approve the conditional use permit as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously, and that's ordinance number 5494. Next item.
Item number 12 is a conditional use permit for sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages. This is for Sulcan Event Center, located at 2813 East Griffin Parkway, Suite C. This would be out of Lot 1, Adams Crossing subdivision. It's currently zoned commercial, and the applicant is Sulcan Event Center LLC in care of Atala Isaguirre. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located near the northwest corner of Griffin Parkway and Taylor Road. The applicant has leased a 1,200-foot event center within a multi-unit commercial plaza that has been in business since March of 2024. She hosts small-scale events such as birthday parties, gender reveals, reunions, seminars. Access to the site will be provided via a 25-foot driveway off of Griffin Parkway and Taylor Road. She would like to incorporate the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages to her business. Hours of operation would depend on the type of event. However, most of these events are during the evenings and on weekends and typically take place during the hours of 1 till 2 a.m.
She currently has 3 to 5 employees for parking. There's a total of 63 parking spaces that are held in common. In regards to the sale of alcohol, Section 6-4 of the zoning code requires such uses be 300 feet from the nearest resident, church, school, or publicly owned property. There are residential homes directly behind the alley and fall within the 300-foot. However, P&Z and council have waived this separation requirement for other similar CUPs. Staff is recommending approval for a 2-year reevaluation, at which time the applicant will have to renew the CUP and TABC license, waiver of the 300-foot separation requirement from residential homes, comply with all city codes, and CUP not to be transferable to others. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to the conditional use permit at 2813 East Griffin Parkway? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Anyone online? Any discussion?
I move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit as presented for 2813 East Griffin Parkway, and that would carry ordinance number 5495. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Item number 13 is a conditional use permit for a drive-through service window for Squinkles Snack Mountain Inspiration, located at 3009 North Inspiration Road, Suite 100. This would be out of Lot 1, C1A, Charles Estates Number 3 subdivision. It's currently zoned commercial, and the applicant is Rosa Maria Uribe. If the council is inclined to approve this CUP, we would need an ordinance for the CUP and for the sale of alcohol. The subject site is located at the northwest corner of Inspiration Road and Giselle Street. The applicant has been operating a snow cones and snack business at this location since 2018. She would like to incorporate selling mixed drinks to the menu. This would be allowed under a C3. This is allowed under a C3 zone, but they would require to wet zone the property. A 24-foot drive in the rear of the building provides access to a 13-foot drive-through window for that would allow stacking for approximately 2 vehicles. She would like to continue using the drive-through service window for her business. The last CUP approved for the drive-through window for this location was approved on April 12, 2021 for a period of 3 years. This staff knows that this would be the applicant's 4th renewal request. Days and hours of operation proposed every day from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. She currently has 2 employees. Parking is held in common. Regarding the sale of alcohol, Section 6-4 of the zoning code requires such uses to be 300 feet from the nearest residence, church, school, or publicly owned property. There are residential homes directly behind the alley that fall within the 300 feet. Thus, a waiver regarding the separation would be required. P&Z and staff recommended approval for life review, subject to continued compliance with all city codes, compliance with TABC requirements, waiver of the 300-foot separation requirement from residential homes, CUP not to be transferable to others, and wet zone the property. This is a public hearing. This item is now before.
Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this item? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Is there anyone online? No? Okay, any discussion?
I move to approve the conditional use permit with the adoption of ordinance and the wet sign ordinance for the life use
Okay.
with the conditions mentioned by Susie.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit and the wet zone ordinance as well. That would be ordinance number 5496 and 5497. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Item number 14 is a conditional use permit renewal for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages. This is for the bungalows on Sherry. This is located at 3700 Plantation Grove Boulevard. This would be out of lots 1 and 2 Sherryland Plantation Grove Hotel Bungalows. It's currently zoned plan unit development, and the applicant is Cantu Bungalows LLC. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located on the southwest corner of Plantation Grove and Santa Lorena. The last conditional use permit for for the sale of alcohol for this location was approved on May 23, 2022 for a period of 2 years. The applicant would like to renew the CUP. Staff knows that this would be the third reevaluation. They currently have 4 employees for staff. For parking, there's a total of 331 total parking spaces held in common. Hours of operation for the hotel, there's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And for the restaurant, it would be from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., Monday to Saturday. Regarding the sale of alcohol, such uses need to be 300 feet from residential uses. There are some apartments within the radius. A waiver of the separation requirement needs to be considered. It is noted that there have not been any reported PD issues during the CUP existing tenure. Since the sale of alcohol is not the primary item of purchase, staff does not object to an extended approval. PNC and staff recommended approval for life of use, subject to continued compliance with TABC requirements, no objection to a waiver of the 300-foot separation requirement, continued compliance with all city codes, and CUP not to be transferable to others. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this item? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Okay, anyone online? No? Okay, is there any discussion? Or question?
I'm going to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit as presented for the life of use. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously, and that's ordinance number 5498. Next item.
Item number 15 is a conditional use permit renewal to keep a portable building for office use. This is for Medcare EMS, located at 511 West 11th Street. This would be the east track of lots 1 and 2 out of Block 178 from Mission Original Town Site. It's currently zoned heavy commercial, and the applicant is Medcare EMS Incorporated. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The site is located 200 feet west of Kika de la Garza Loop along the south side of West 11th Street. The applicant would like to keep a 76 by 20 portable building that has been used for Medcare EMS services. The applicant mentioned that this office is only used as a hub station. The main office is in McAllen. Access to the site is strictly off of West 11th Street. The last CUP for this location was approved on October 25th, 2023 for a period of 6 months. This would be the applicant's second renewal. Hours of operation are Monday to Sunday, 24/7. They currently have 7 employees that will operate the business. They're usually in the ambulance all day. For parking, there's a total of 7 parking spaces required, which they're meeting. Staff recommends approval, subject to a 2-year reevaluation in order to assess the operation, continue compliance with all city codes, and CUP not to be transferable to others. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Please state your name and address for the record.
In favor. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. David De Los Santos, 1707 Solar Drive, Mission, Texas. We'd like you to consider the building that we're asking for the CUP. It'll be used for storage, training, and office use. And we've complied with the planning and zoning department to keep it up and maintain it and stuff like that. So whatever they ask, we've done.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else who would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Anyone online? Okay. Any questions or comments?
I'm going to approve.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit as presented. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item. 5499, yes, sorry.
Item number 16 is a conditional use permit for a beauty salon in a C1 office building zone. This would be located at 2407 North Sherry Road, Suite B. This would be out of Lot 2, Joel Ochoa subdivision, also known as Unit C, Mesaluna Condominiums. It's currently zoned office building, and the applicant is Clarissa Ordóñez. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The 5,190 square foot commercial plaza is located on the northwest corner of Fox Run and Sherry Road along the north side of Fox Run. The applicant is proposing to open a beauty salon at this C1 zone property. A hair and beauty salon service is a permitted use with a conditional use permit. The applicant will offer eyelash extension, microblading, ombre brow, lip brush, permanent makeup, and tattoo. Access to the property is provided off of Sherry Road. Hours of operation are Monday to Saturday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. For staff, they're proposing to have 2 employees. For parking, there's a total of 24 parking spaces, including the handicap that are shared within the commercial plaza. Staff is recommending approval for life review, subject to continued compliance with city codes, acquisition of a business license, and CUP not to be transferable to others. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this item? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Is there anyone online? Okay, are there any questions or motion?
I move to approve, Mayor.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously, and that's ordinance number 5500. Next item.
Item number 17 is a conditional use permit for a home occupation. This is for a 2-chair beauty salon located at 804 West 24th Place. This would be Lot 74, Chaparral Heights subdivision. It's currently zoned residential, and the applicant is Ermelinda G. Salazar. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located 150 feet west of Holland Road along the north side of 24th Place. The applicant has been running a 2-chair salon since November of 2010. All her customers are by appointment only. The last conditional use permit approved for this location was on April 26, 2021 for a period of 3 years. The applicant now wishes to renew her conditional use permit. If approved, the applicant would need to continue compliance with home occupation regulations provided in Section 156-1 of the zoning code. Days and hours of operation are Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 7 and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. by appointment only. Ms. Salazar is currently the only person running the salon. She has a total of 3 off-street parking spaces. Staff is recommending approval for life review, subject to continued compliance with home occupation regulations, continued compliance with all city codes, and CUP not to be transferable to others. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this request? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Is there anyone online? Are there any questions?
I move to approve, Mayor.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit for 804 West 24th Place as presented. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay. All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously, and that's ordinance number 5501. Okay, next item.
Item number 18 is a conditional use permit to install 2 level 3 DC chargers and 2 level 2 chargers charging stations at 805 East Expressway 83. This would be out of Lot 1, Spikes Phase 1, and Lots 2 and 3 out of Spikes Phase 2. It's currently zoned commercial, and the applicant is Spikes Motor Company Incorporated. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located located on the northwest corner of East Expressway 83 and Highland Park along the north side of the expressway. The applicant is proposing to install 2 level 3 DC chargers and 2 level 2 chargers as charging stations. They will be placed within the Spikes Ford parking lot along the Expressway 83 for public use. Access to the chargers would be off of the expressway through a 30-foot driveway. Hours of operation are Monday to Sunday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. It is self-operated. P&Z and staff recommended approval for life review, subject to continued compliance with city codes and CUP not to be transferable to others. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this request? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Anyone online? questions?
I move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit as presented, and that would carry ordinance number 5502. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Item number 19 is a conditional use permit for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages for Barbecue Smokehouse located at 2211 East Griffin Parkway, Suite 100. This would be out of Lot 1, Elizondo 495 Plaza subdivision. It's currently zoned commercial, and the applicant is Orlando Ochoa. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located 300 feet west of Citrus along the north side of Griffin Parkway. The applicant has been operating this barbecue business since 2020. The restaurant is located on the west end of the existing commercial plaza. This business previously had a conditional use permit for the sale of alcohol, but their TABC license recently expired. Therefore, they need to reapply. The last CUP approved for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages for this location was on April 11, 2022, for a period of 2 years. Access to the site is from a 35-foot driveway from Griffin Parkway. The drive-through service window allows for 3 vehicles to be easily stacked. Hours of operation are Monday to Sunday from 11 a.m. to 9. We currently have 16 employees in different shifts. For parking, there's a total of 139 parking spaces that are held in common. Regarding the sale of alcohol, such uses need to be 300 feet from residential uses. There are some residences within the radius. However, a council has approved a waiver regarding the separation requirements that would need to be considered. Staff is recommending approval for life of use subject to waiver of the 300-foot separation requirement from residential neighborhoods, continued compliance with all city codes, and CUP not to be transferable to others. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this item? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Anyone online? No? Okay. Or any questions? Or a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit for 2211 East Griffin Parkway. As presented, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously, and that's ordinance number 5503. Next item.
Item number 20 is a conditional use permit for drive-through service window for Twisted Sisters. This is located 1500 West Business 83, Suites 9 and 10. This would be out of Lot A, Mission Acres. It's currently zoned commercial, and the applicant is Anita Rita Garza. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located on the northwest corner of Los Ebanos and Business Highway 83. The applicant has been running her coffee shop at this location since 2021. Recently, the new property owner was granted a CUP to rebuild the drive-through service window and add 3 more suites to the east side of the building. Since CUPs are not transferable, the tenant would like to continue utilizing the drive-through service window and expand her business to now occupy Suites 9 and 10. The last CUP approved for the drive-through service window at this location was on May 10, 2021 for a period of 1 year. Access to the site is from a driveway cut off Business Highway 83 and exiting to Los Ebanos. The drive-through service window would allow stacking for approximately 2 vehicles. Days and hours of operation are Monday to Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They currently have 5 employees. There's a total of 35 parking spaces that are shared. Staff is recommending approval subject to a 3-year reevaluation to continue to assess the business, compliance with all city codes, acquisition of a new business license, and CUP not to be transferable to others. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Okay, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this item? Anyone online? Okay. Are there any questions or a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit as presented. This would be ordinance number 5504. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Item number 21 is a discussion and action to recommend to the City Council the closure required by Union Pacific Railroad for Leonor Street, being approximately .09 of a mile east of the intersection of Schubach and West Business Highway 83. On February 29, 2024, staff received a request by Meldon and Hunt on behalf of the Killen's Development for a proposed railroad crossing and 3 road closures for El Milagro subdivision. Union Pacific Railroad Company requires that for every new railroad crossing, there is at least 2 road closures. However, since the proposed new railroad crossing was wider than normal, Union Pacific is requesting that there be 3 road closures. The request before the board is to consider the closure of the 2800 block of Leonor Street. This would be the 3rd road crossing closures. As part of the request of the Union Pacific, Railroad also requires that the City of Mission enter into an agreement with the Union Pacific Company for reimbursement of preliminary engineering services. The Killen's Development has agreed to cover the $25,000 fee estimated for this project since the proposal is for their own development. P&Z and staff recommended approval. There was public opposition during the public hearing. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this request? Please come forward and state your name and address.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. My name is Juan Rodriguez, and I currently reside at 2807 Leonor Street in Mission, Texas. I am also the current owner and operator of Beep Beep Meat Market, which is located at 810 North Sherbach. We've been open since 2008. We are already going in 15 years in operation. And for as long as I can remember, that access point has been open for at least 30 plus years, more than I can remember, since the days I was back in elementary school at Escandon. And we got a very short notice about a week beforehand, before the first meeting that was set to take place on June the 5th, I believe, and then it got postponed to the 19th. So we were able to gain about close to 200 signatures in a petition that we got started. And most of these signatures came from customers that are from the store, which we expressed the intent of the company's intention to close that access point. And it really creates an efficient entrance towards preventing higher traffic congestion during school drop-offs, or even people that live in that neighborhood that don't want to wait the extra 2 minutes to catch the red light and make that left turn. But there was 3 questions that I did request on behalf of ourselves, my family, the people that live in that neighborhood. I believe it was about 8 people that got the notification of the company's intentions for the access point closure. But I did request 3 things that hopefully they wouldn't be of too much trouble. And the first one was copies of any and previous information regarding the development use and the cancellation of the area in question. The second item that we put a request for is the city attorney's legal opinion regarding Union Pacific's railroad request for the cancellation of the area in question and the legal rights of the property owners and taxpayers who continue to use this proposed cancellation access point. And lastly, I am also seeking the reasons and the purpose of this cancellation request. And with that being said, we did gather the petitions, but like I said, they only have the phone numbers. And I understand they also were requesting the addresses. But I felt to ask them for the addresses would just been a little bit too invasive, and some people even showed some resistance to even just providing the phone number. But with that being said, that is the information that I was able to present today, and I do appreciate and thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor or in opposition?
Maria Estrella Salinas, I would like to speak in reference with that young man. Also, they were misled about the petition, and then I'm from the Oblate Street. They had closed our Oblate Street for the train to be able to park more trains. It was bad. It was bad. I mean, there was cars stopping, no one knew, and what? So that Union Pacific could unload their items. Wait a minute, we're the taxpayers, we're the tax. There's some people who had to walk to school, or they had to go around the other street or around the other street. So Union Pacific pretty much takes advantage of the citizens, and I am for that young man, because even like my petition, I forgot to give it to you, a lot of people were like, why should we give you our address? Why are we going to give our telephone number? What? So anyway, I'm for that young man. I don't think Union Pacific has a right to close that area for that amount of time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Pettis. Ruben James de Jesus for the record with Meldon and Hunt. I am the project engineer for the Killam's who have been working on this project. I know it's unfortunate that we're here today asking for this road closure, but currently Union Pacific requires, for a new proposed crossing, requires 3 additional closures, whether the area, and we've been working with staff and the Killam's to identify 3. We have already identified 2, we've already had 2 approvals. This is the 3rd closure that we are presenting. There was questions regarding access points. I know that this proposed closure is within 400 feet of Sherbach. We did feel that this is probably the better of the few options that we had. I say few because we did look at different options. There is one on Campbell, but that one's more of a direct access point for an RV park and other just east of Inspiration. So I'm here to answer any questions you guys might have, but we did look at other options, and we do feel like this is the most feasible option that we've presented.
Okay.
Mayor, may I please ask a question?
Yes.
So when you come up with, hi, good afternoon, actually, good evening. When you come up with different areas of providing options, who do you share those options with?
So we work with staff. We do still have to present this item to Union Pacific.
Okay.
Part of the routine is we get approval from the council that you do want to move forward with the closure so that we can present it to Union Pacific. Union Pacific then has the final approval. We had identified 3 closures, which they approved, but through public hearing, we only got 2. There is a 3rd one that did not get approved, but we are going to present this 3rd one to Union Pacific to see if they're applicable to the request.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how the rest of the council feel, but I myself would like to see those other 2 options or even more options if there is for us to take a look at this time. And I know that residents such as the young man that came and spoke to us, they should be given ample time to know what's going on in their neighborhood so that they can be able to get all the answers, all the questions, answers to their questions that they may have. I am familiar with the area because I am a La Jolla ISD employee, and I do know that there is a lot of traffic through there. And so I'm just curious to see what other options you all have.
So the other option that was approved by Union Pacific but was not approved through P&Z was a direct access point for the Madero community off of Los Indios. We did have a public hearing through P&Z. There was quite a bit of opposition to that. So then we regrouped with the Killam's and the staff to look at different options, and this is the one that we found the most feasible. And the reason I say the most feasible is because it's within 400 feet of a signalized entrance, intersection. There's concerns whether Tierra Dorada has access points, 3 access points to Inspiration and 3 access points to Sherbach. So that's kind of why we weighed the option of this is the most feasible option. Like I said, there's other options that we have, but we have brought those forward, and we've heard the residents' cases. And so this is probably, the reason we're here today is for, we think this is the most feasible.
Okay. Is there any other questions?
I had a question. Reading the paper, it says usually it's 2, so then they asked for 3, is that what?
I don't know if the write-up might say 2, but the Union Pacific requirement is for everyone is 3.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the 2. at least.
Can we go back and ask and get a clarification? Maybe they'll accept 2, maybe because they haven't been asked that,
No, we've asked,
and they said no.
it's 3 for 1.
I think it's a third one because of the width of the opening that, the proposed opening, is that correct? I think I heard that in the presentation.
That is the reason. Normally it's 2, but since the road that they're proposing is a lot wider than any normal, that is the reason for the request for the third closure.
So that's the reason for the third one. Okay, any other questions? Anyone else that would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Okay. Any more discussion or a motion? Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second? Lack of a second, the motion dies. Is there, I would like to recommend it to be tabled. Obviously, there's some further questions that we have as far as options. So is there a motion to table the item?
I'd like to make a motion to table the item.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to table the item that was presented on the additional closure for Union Pacific. All in favor to table the item, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Next item.
Item number 22 is a discussion and action to propose amendment to Appendix A, zoning Article 10, Section 156, conditional use permits. Staff has received several concerns or have been addressed to the planning department in regards to home occupations. In regards to the signage for home occupations, they feel that they should be allowed to have a bigger signs. Normally, how the ordinance reads is we don't allow a sign for home occupations. They only allow a 1x1 that'll have the name and the occupation of the applicant. So staff received a request to have a 4x4 sign on a home occupation request. The other amendment proposed is the percentage and notice requirements on waiver of provisions. Applicants feel that the percentage and the notice requirement is too much. On a normal rezoning or CUP application, the requirement is 200 feet radius to all property owners. When they're requesting a waiver to one of the provisions, whether it's to have a sign, whether it's to have an additional employee, or whether they want to change the use of the home occupation, they require that they get 90% of the signatures, but within 500 feet radius. So the staff did a research with other cities in regards to whether they allow a sign. And City of McAllen allows a sign not larger than 2 square feet, but only on commercial, not on residential. Edinburgh does not, allows a sign, but only 1 foot. FAR allows an 18 by 24. San Juan allows 1 foot as well. West Laco
18 by 24 inches or feet?
I'm sorry, 18 by 24 inches.
Okay.
West Laco is a 1.5 by 1.5 feet. And as far as the provisions, they don't allow any waivers. They don't have any option. Either they have to comply with the requirements. The City of Mission is the only city that has that consideration should there be a variance request to any of these. So in order to address the concerns addressed by the citizens, staff suggested that we make the following amendments. Amend the home occupation to allow a sign fixed to the building, but not to be greater than a 2x2, and reduce the radius of the waiver to the provisions to 200 instead of the 500 currently required. And this is, just making it clear, it's only for the provisions, not for the notice requirement. The notice requirement has always been 2,000. This is only for
200.
I'm sorry, 200. Yes, 200-foot radius. I haven't seen too many numbers. 200 feet radius, and only on provisions, they have to go 500-foot radius. But they need to require to get 90% of those 500 within the 500-foot radius. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to the proposed amendment? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to the amendment? Anyone online? No? Okay. I would like to have a little discussion on this item. So the staff is recommending, was recommending a 2x2.
Staff was recommending a 2x2, just 1 foot more than what we allowed. However, P&Z only recommended 1.5 by 1.5 to follow what Westlaco is following.
If I can give a little history of why conditional use permits were given with a conditional use in residential area. Normally what happens is they go into a residential area, and the reason they don't believe in larger signs is, one, is the residential area. But normally who use those daycare facilities are going to people in the neighborhood. And so 2 blocks down, there's somebody has a daycare, and that's where you can leave your child. And so you don't see people driving a long way in a neighborhood to drop somebody off, unless it's like some relative saying, I'm going to drop off because I trust my cousin or whatever. But in a residential area, it is normally for the people in the neighborhood, and they already know about it. The 200 feet, that tracks pretty much what state law is. Anything over 200 feet, city council can require whatever they want, but the 200 feet is what is the norm. So just for context.
Okay. Well, I would agree to reduce it to the 200 feet.
If you may recall, when this ordinance was originally amended, it used to be 500 feet, 500-foot radius. And the compromise in sending more notices was to reduce it to 200-foot radius, but put a sign on the actual site so that if anybody passing by needed more information, there's a sign at the site that says that either they're applying for rezoning or CUP, so they can call and get more information. That was the whole purpose of that amendment. However, this part of the provision was never included, so it stayed with the 500-foot radius.
Okay, all right. I would like to recommend a 24-inch by 18-inch. I think that's what FAR does.
Okay.
And that's kind of a compromise from what staff was recommending and what P&Z approved. I think, that's an 18 by 24 is, if you all can kind of visualize a real estate sign, for sale sign, that's the size of an 18 by 24.
A yard sign.
Yeah, a yard sign.
It'd be something like this.
There you go. That's right.
Something.
So
Currently, what we allow is just
something like that.
attached to the.
And it has to be
so
attached to
what we
the-
would be implementing would be to
Right.
this.
Okay. So is there?
I'll make a motion to approve the 18 by 24.
Okay,
Second.
all right. There is a motion to approve the sign on a residential home to 24 by 18, and reduce the radius to 200 as opposed to 500. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously, and that is ordinance number 5504. 05? Oh, yes, ma'am, yes, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So that concludes our public hearing. The next item is a consent agenda. Is there anything on that, on the consent agenda that needs to be pulled and discussed individually?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and approve all items, including 23 through 32.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items as presented, being items number 23 through 32. And there aren't any ordinance numbers, right, Anna?
No, there's
No, okay, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item is approvals and authorizations, item number 33.
Mayor, Council, item number 33 is a preliminary plat approval for Sonoma Ranch subdivision. This is a tract of land containing 38.99 acres of land, being a part or portion of Lot 30-9 West Addition to Sharyland. It's currently zoned R1 Single Family Residential. The developer is Jason E. Garza. The engineer is Javier Hinojosa Engineering. The site is located along the east side of Mayberry Road, approximately 1,320 feet north of Mile 2. The developer is proposing 183 single-family residential lots. They would have city water, city sewer. City engineer has reviewed and approved the drainage report. Staff recommends approval, subject to payment of capital sewer recovery fees, payment of park fees, provide water district exclusion, assignment of water rights or payment of imposed fee, submittal of required traffic impact analysis. This item is now before you.
Okay, are there any questions?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the preliminary plat for Sonoma Ranch subdivision. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Next item.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City Manager. Request for approval of an ordinance creating an audit committee pursuant to the charter amendment approved by voters on May 4, 2024. The purpose of the audit committee is to provide an independent oversight of the financial reporting processes and internal controls and audit functions of the municipality, thereby enhancing the accountability and transparency of the municipality financial operations. The audit committee shall consist of 5 members to include 2 city council members and 3 members from the community. Members shall be appointed by the mayor with the approval and consent of the city council and shall serve for a term of 3 years. Community members shall have expertise in accounting, finance, and audit. Staff and city manager recommends approval.
Okay. Any questions? A motion?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 5506, creating an audit committee pursuant to the charter amendment approved by the voters on May the 4th, 2024. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously, and that's ordinance number 5506. Thank you. Next item.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. The next item would be the appointment of the 2 city council members and 3 members from the community to the audit committee. Members shall be appointed by the mayor with the approval and consent of the council and shall serve for a term of 3 years or until their successors are appointed. Mayor's recommendation for the community members are Mr. Efrain Reina, Mr. Joe Vargas, and Dr. Charles Austin. City council members would be Mayor Pro Tem Ruben Plata and Councilwoman Marissa Gerlach. This item is now before you.
Make a motion to approve mayor's recommendations.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. All right. So is there a second?
I think Joe wanted to talk to you before he approved, but I'll second the motion.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the above-named members to the committee. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Item 36 is for the approval of the interlocal agreement with the Mission Economic Development Corporation and City of Mission. The purpose of this agreement is to set forth terms and conditions under which MEDC will make funds available to the city for the undertaking of governmental functions and implementation of certain projects. This interest rate shall be paid by the city to MEDC for funds in advance at the annual interest rate offered by taxable at the time of the effective date of this agreement. Last week it was at 5.16 for your information, so we don't know what it will be. Interest owed to the MEDC will be prorated based on the amount and the date of the advances to the city. Interest will be calculated on a monthly compounding basis. Calculations will be maintained by the city and provided to MEDC along with the interest payment by February 28, 2025, unless the city requests a 30-day extension in writing as highlighted in Article 3. The approval of the funds will affect the following accounts: the general fund balance, the due to from the general fund to MEDC for $2 million. I'm sorry, I'm shortchanging you.
Yes.
And of course, this staff and city manager recommends approval. On this item, I would like to point out that we're going to be doing the same thing with the water and sewer funds as well, and we recommend that we use those funds first before tapping into this one. This is just in case we might need it.
Okay.
One other thing, Mayor and Commission, we did talk to the chairman of the EDC, and he's on board. The mayor and I actually visited with him and with Technical, the executive director. It'll be on the next regular meeting of the EDC, which it's too late for this meeting they're having this week, but it'll be on the next one. So just to let everybody know, and we got to get their approval. And so didn't want to do a walking forum where I call everybody up, as you know, the city attorney will have a discussion if I end up doing a walking too. So we did talk to the chairman and the EDC director, and they are supportive of it. So hopefully the rest of the board will approve our recommendation.
Okay.
Yes.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the interlocal agreement with Mission EDC as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously.
Item number 37 requires an approval of ordinance which will be assigned allowing for the transfer of funds and respective budget amendments from the general fund to the capital projects fund. These funds will be necessary to carry out projects that were appropriated in fiscal year 23-24. We're going to be doing a general fund transfer of $514,145. We'll transfer out in effective fund balance. On the capital project funds, we're transferring that 514 as well. That had to do with the Texas Cordia Prosper Phase 1 project, so to complete that project as well. And we did additional funding of $55,128 for other structures, be it the signage that the city got with TxDOT on signal installation for different intersections. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move for approval?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the transfer of funds as presented from general fund and capital projects fund. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously, and that's ordinance number 5507.
No. Yes, council has to approve first.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Item number 38 calls for an approval of ordinance allowing the transfer of funds from the solid waste and utility fund to the city general's fund. The amount of each respective fund will be $1 million. It will go into our fund balance, and of course, this will be used for essential operation expenses, including but not limited to public safety, public health, any unforeseen financial obligation that may arise during the fiscal year. Of course, and other necessary obligations that the city might encounter during this period. The City of Mission shall repay the transfer funds to each fund no later than the last day of February 2025, and staff and city manager recommend approval.
Any questions or a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 5508 for the transfer of funds from solid waste and utility fund to the city's general fund. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Yes.
Yes. Just for public information, is that these monies will not be transferred into the general fund, we don't think, probably until maybe November or December. We're going to try to build up enough reserves in the general fund that we don't have to transfer anything out, but just in case that we have to, we have the funds and the approval from the city council.
Thank you.
Well, I fear it's we control it, no interest to ourselves, but to the EDC, yes.
No, that's with MEDC because it's an outside agency.
Outside agency.
And we're in-house.
Yeah.
So we do have more, almost $3 million on reserve on that.
Utility, we'll have two, we'll have close to 5, because we transferred the $3 million from the general fund last year that y'all transferred. But that $3 million has to sit in place because we're going to be preparing an application to the Water Development Board for the water plant design. So, but we will have on September 30th, we should have just a hair over $2 million in fund balance in the water and sewer fund. We'll have about 1.3, 1.4 in the solid waste. And the only reason that we're having that is that you all approved that increase both in sanitation and in the water and fund last year that went into effect last fiscal year.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next item.
Okay. Item number 39 is acceptance of the quarterly report of investments for the quarter ending December 31st, 2023, and the interest earned for the 3-month period ending on December 31st, 2023. The total increase to investment balances for the period were $3,088,211.14, and the total decreases were $4,249,000,000, leaving a total of $15,177,650.42 in outstanding investments for the quarter ending December 31st, 2023. The total interest earned on all funds year-to-date was $105,192.76. Staff recommends approval.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the quarterly report of investments. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Item number 40 is discussion and consideration on approval of renewal of the Time Club Plus system in the amount of $58,201.09 for the first year. The terms of the original purchase of the TCP program will be lapsing, and staff is asking for its renewal for a period of 3 years with the option of reviewing for the subsequent 2 years in 1-year increments. Staff recommends approval.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, but I have a question.
Okay.
Mr. Pettis, is this from the new system?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We've already, everybody in City Hall has already been biometric with their finger already, and so we're now working on the other departments to get them all done. So we hope within the next 30 days we'll have all employees will be clocking in biometrically.
Even PD, fire,
Everybody.
parks, everybody?
Parks, municipal court, everybody.
That's good.
No, no, that's about the mayor and council.
Thank you. I make a motion for approval.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the renewal of the time clock TCP.
TCP.
Yes, all in
Thank you,
favor
Mayor
say
and
aye.
Council.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, City Manager. I bring it to you, item number 41, authorization to approve change order number 3 for the Gabriel Drainage Improvements Project, for the city of Mission in the amount of $2,501.04. We've had some credits throughout the project, and now ultimately we're having the contractor submit this change order for this total amount of $2,501.04. That was for tack coat and 2-inch overlay on Girasol Street. Staff and city manager recommend approval. That's what we're asking for, the change order. That's the remaining balance with the.
Okay. Move to approve, Mayor.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to authorize and approve the change order number 3 for Gabriel Drainage Improvement Project. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item?
That's yours, Mr. Bocanegra.
Okay, sorry about that. Item number 42, authorization to award bid for the meter connect supplies for the Public Works Department. We have accepted and opened 2 bid responses for the meter connect supplies. Staff recommends awarding to Corn Main, who is the lowest responsible bidder, meeting all specifications. The recommendation is based solely on estimated quantities, and orders will be placed on an as-needed basis throughout the 1-year base term. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
I move to approve to award to the lowest responsible bidder.
Second.
All in favor of, there's a motion and a second to authorize the award as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item?
Mayor, can I ask, can you explain why you went with a person that's a little bit higher?
Well,
That should be put into the record of when you don't go with a low bid, you need to explain why you didn't
Yes,
go.
in actuality, the other bidder did not comply with all the requirements for the bid submittal.
Like?
And I can go ahead and answer that. So some of the disqualifications include like their conflict of interest questionnaire. So they didn't submit their conflict of interest questionnaire, they didn't submit a general business questionnaire, and they also didn't submit a signature to the general terms and conditions of the agreement. So they actually didn't sign the front page, and they didn't review through the general terms and conditions. So that ultimately disqualified them.
Very good.
Mr. Perez, maybe I forgot, but do we have a purchasing director yet?
No,
Okay,
Andy's still acting right now.
okay,
We moved him from finance to purchasing.
okay, just curious. I didn't know whether, you know.
No, we haven't done that yet.
Okay.
No.
He's going to
Thank
do
you,
all the
Mr. Bocanegra.
departments.
Okay, next item.
43?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I come before you to present item 43, approval ordinance 5509 of the City Council of the City of Mission amending Chapter 110, Traffic and Vehicles, Article number 9, Miscellaneous Driving Rules, by adding new section 110.0502, traverse flooded streets with vehicles. It shall be unlawful for any person to traverse a flooded street in an automobile, truck, boat, or other vehicles or vessels such as speed as to create a wake therein that may or is likely to cause personal injury or damage or increase flooding to the property or premises adjoining such flooded streets or streets. Each violation of this ordinance shall be punishable by a fine not to exceed $500. Staff and city manager recommends approval.
Are there any questions?
I move to approve. Second.
Here's a
Third.
motion and a second to approve ordinance number 5509. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Next item.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item number 44, ratification of Los Indios Lift Station emergency repairs in the amount of $110,000 to the 5125 company and approval of respective budget amendment. In accordance with the local government code, a procurement made because of the public calamity that requires the immediate appropriation of money to relieve the necessity of the municipality's residents or to preserve the property of the municipalities, and a procurement necessary to preserve and protect the public health or safety of the municipality's residents. Hence, staff is seeking authorization as an emergency purchase. Sewer backup was being experienced in the Sherryland Plantation area. After evaluating the situation, it was discovered that the discharge pipes were perforated and 2 pumps were not functioning properly, thus resulting in a possible sanitary sewer backup to residents' homes. Request to ratify payment for repairs to the 5125 company for the amount of $110,000. Staff and city manager recommends approval.
I'm going to approve.
Second.
Here's a motion and a second to approve the emergency repairs for the amount of $110,000. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item number 45, ratification of wastewater treatment plant wet well rehab emergency repairs in the amount of $159,636.32 to Morewell LLC and approval respective budget amendment in accordance with the local government code and procurement made because of the public calamity that requires the immediate appropriation of money to relieve the necessity of the municipality's residents or to preserve the property of the municipalities and a procurement necessary to preserve or protect the public health and safety of the municipality's residents and staff seeking authorization as emergency purchase. After evaluating the situation, it was discovered that the concrete wet well was eroding and discharge pipes were corroding, thus resulting in possible wastewater backup. Delaying the maintenance could have led to more severe damage requiring extensive and expensive repairs. Request to ratify payment for repairs to Morewell LLC for the amount of $159,636.32. Staff and city manager recommends approval.
Mayor, I would like to make the motion to approve, but I have two questions.
Okay?
My first question, when it comes to, do we have staff that frequently go and check all of the different?
Yes.
How many do you currently have on
So
staff?
we have approximately 42 lift stations throughout the city.
Okay.
And I have two members that they do and inspect all the lift stations. Unfortunately, the problem here was this lift station is 30 feet deep by 40 feet wide. We don't have the proper equipment to go all the way to 30 feet down. And the reason we found out about this problem is because we were seeing sewer in the streets and some people complaining on sewer backups. That's the only reason we found out that the lift station was having problems underneath. So we have to drain the lift station to assess it in a more closely details.
I guess in the future, so we can be more proactive, maybe possibly more staff for that, and then maybe there is a company or somewhere that can come in at least once or twice a year to go in and check those before we reach to the point where we have sewer on our streets. Just a thought. I'm not an engineer, by the way. And then also, when it comes to having this money with like line number 44, 110,000, 159,000, do we have a budget for you for these emergency services per year?
We do have on sewer capital recovery fee. That's the fee that we charge the developers through the subdivision process. That's the item that we're using and the budget that we're using to cover for these expenses.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we do have a motion. I'm looking for a second.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to ratify the wastewater treatment plant emergency repairs as presented for $159,636.32. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go on to unfinished business. I believe we're leaving this on the table.
That's right, for the next meeting.
Okay,
We have a full
so
city council.
We'll move on to routine matters. City manager comments.
Tomorrow is donuts with the chief at 9 a.m. at the police department. So anybody who's free tomorrow can stop by and have donuts with him and his staff. Independence Day celebration on July 3rd from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Mission Event Center. They're going to have it's going to be a family event. So bring your small children. They're going to have games and food and things like that. So if any families don't have anything to do on July 3rd and they're not going to go to some other place and watch fireworks, they're welcome to go to the Mission Event Center and celebrate the 4th of July on the 3rd. Sandbags is still being given out every Saturday during the hurricane season at the library.
from 8 to 1 p.m. And they're self-served sandbags and 6 bags per household, 10 bags for businesses. Bags and shovel are available. And you must live inside the city limits and have proof of residency, which is your driver's license or your water bill. And then just for everyone to know, we'll be closed on July the 4th. It's a holiday. That's it.
All right, thank you. City council comments? Ms. Vaz?
Enjoy your summer and be safe.
Mr. Plata?
No comments.
Comments? Okay. I have no comments as well, so we're going to move
I
on
think
to executive.
Right, we're going to have to remove one item from executive session. Do we still have that one item removed? Which is the one on Sherry Road.
On Compton, number 21. No, hold on.
It was
No.
item number,
10.
no, it was
No,
actually
it's an
item-
executive session, which is that
I wrote it
one,
down right here, I can't see it.
number 6.
Item number
6.
10 from UPNC.
It's number 6.
Number 6. That one will be removed from executive session for this meeting, so it'll be removed.
Okay. Do you need a motion for that?
I don't know,
We don't need a motion, do we?
Just to have-
You're actually gonna just take no action on it.
Okay, all right. Okay, so is there a motion to move into executive session?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to go into executive session pursuant to Government Code 551.074 and 551.071. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. Be right back.
Second. Are you going to take this?
Is there a motion and a second to reconvene? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. We're going to go to item number 10.
Item number 10 is a rezoning for a 2.850 acre tract being the south 2.85 acres out of lot 39 Bellwoods Company subdivision. This is from AY Agricultural Open Interim to R2 Duplex Fourplex. The applicant is Aaron H. Bailly Jr. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located approximately 1288 feet north of West Mile 2 Road on the west side of Compton Drive. Surrounding zones include agricultural to the east and south, duplex, fourplex to the north and west. The future land use map shows this area as low-density residential. The proposed zone does not comply with city's future land use map. However, it complies with the fairly new existing land uses. Staff notes that the future land use map can be amended to reflect the proposed zone. The city council has approved other rezonings for duplex in this area and off of Prosper Road. During P&Z, there was opposition. P&Z and staff recommended approval. This is a public hearing. This item is not before you.
Mayor, I move to approve based on the recommendation of the planning and zoning, but with the condition of the applicant to follow the subdivision.
Okay.
No conditions.
Okay, I'm so sorry, not the condition, with the,
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
With the, make sure we notify the residents when the subdivision process takes place.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I was in the office. Conditions for everything.
All right, is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay. There is a motion and a second to approve the rezoning request as presented. But having the residents notified for the upcoming subdivision process that would come into play. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Okay, motion carries unanimously, and that's ordinance number 5510. Okay, so the items in executive session, no action on item 1. And item 2 is
No action either on that
no
one?
action on item 2? That's correct. Item 3?
That is, we just need a motion on who's going to meet with the union on amendments to the meet and confer agreement. So it's going to be you, Mayor, and
Me.
Councilman. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's all we need to have is.
Mayor, I make a motion that yourself, the city manager, and Beto Vela meet and involve our city attorney in reference to the meet and confer agreement.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to assign Mike Bettis, Beto Vela, and myself to meet, and Patricia, to meet and confer, and discuss the meet and confer agreement on Wednesday. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item, item number 4.
Just motion to approve as discussed in executive session.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve as discussed in executive session.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the discussion and move forward as discussed in executive session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 5.
I move to approve to engage counsel law firm for grant services.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to engage with Gasso Law Firm as discussed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
All All opposed say no, so that would be a 3-1 vote. Item 6, there's no action. Item 7.
7 and 8, no action.
And 7 and 8, no action as well. Okay, I believe that that is the end of our
Move to
agenda.
adjourn.
There's a
Second.
motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously.